the big blessing in disguise about the whole virus situation, because a lot of people have been shopping online. And it's inspired a lot of us entrepreneurs to become more creative in our outreach using these platforms, social media, and, the podcasts and everything like that.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I mean, out of tragedy, there's always success stories, right? The yin and the yang of the way we live our lives, right? And it sounds like. Hey, welcome to Travel Tuesday Happy Hour, where we interview dope people from around the world. Today, what are you doing? Let me start that over. All right, ready?
All right.
Hey, welcome to Travel Tuesday Happy Hour, where I don't know why I'm nervous right now.
It's a bunch of energy pop. I got crystals by the phone and shit. You know what I'm
telling you, got all the energy going right now. Hey, welcome to Travel Tuesday Happy Hour, where we interview dope people doing dope things from around the world. My brother, tell us who you are and what do you do?
Peace, family. I'm Triller King. I keep Thomas Government. I go by Triller King. I do make custom crystal and gemstone jewelry, one of a kind. I also wholesale and retail natural crystals and gemstone minerals. I was a truck driver for about 2.5 years. I've worked for Whole Foods and Amazon before Amazon bought out Whole Foods. So we talk about that a little bit. But yeah, man, entrepreneurship. My wife makes, we in the DIY. So she makes Yoni Steams. She makes our toothpaste. You name it. I make jewelry, incense, body oils, everything that I'm interested in. Basically, I sell my lifestyle.
Okay. So what got you into this? Let's take a couple steps back. What got you into truck driving?
Oh, man. So truck driving was a crazy situation. We were actually living in Charleston, South Carolina, which is kind of overpopulated for its size. It's like the number one move to place in the country. Well, it was anyway, like 6 years ago we lived there. And she got pregnant. And when she conceived our firstborn, it was just like, I'm working at Whole Foods and she working at this hotel resort. And we like, man, we can't do this. Like, we ain't gonna have time to raise the little one, and then we ain't want the daycare to raise them. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up moving back home with our parents. And in the process of moving back home, man, we couldn't find work. I couldn't find work. So I'm putting in application on application, and like nobody wanted to hire me. So one of my partners was talking about trucking school. I was already thinking about it. I was gonna go through a company in which they'll pay for your trucking school and all that, but sometimes you get tied up in these contracts with these companies. You might not like the company, but you owe them debt if you leave them. So I ended up going to trucking school, to this private school, Truck Driving Institute, where it's 3 weeks, 3-week program where I go to school 5 days a week. And after 3 weeks, I was able to take the course and get my CDL. Once I got my CDL, bro, they had the first day in trucking school, we did like 20 or 30 job applications. So I had pre-hires the first week. By the time I even had everything, all my paperwork filled out for the school, to ensure that I had my insurance to drive as a student, all that, I already had pre-hire calls. So I was like, okay, this is definitely a booming industry. Long story short. And it was from I wanted to be my own boss. I didn't want to be micromanaged. You know what I'm saying? You work these jobs, and because when I worked for Amazon, there's always somebody looking at you, looking over your shoulder. They keeping track of how many packages you pack per hour. I work at Whole Foods. You got these white cats, man, and I'm not big on, like somebody watching me, making sure I'm here or there, whatever. So I want to do something where I could be more independent and I have freedom. So went to trucking school, man. By the time I finished, I had like 5 different companies. But I ended up doing flatbed because flatbed is home every weekend. And I got 2 children, which I had 1 at the time. But I'm like, bro, I'm not about to be away from my son for weeks at a time, to be over the road. So flatbed is a little bit more work. It's harder because you got to tarp and untarp loads, whatever. But you home every weekend. So I was gone Monday through Friday, home every weekend, making about $1,000 a week. My first check was $1,000. I had pinched myself. I thought I was dreaming. I went crazy. So did that, and the whole time I'm on the road, I'm just like getting homesick. I'm already established with the business at this point. We done events, we done festivals, we had a little online presence, and it was really a point in life where you got to decide, okay, what's next? You know what I'm saying? So the universe catapulted me into slowing down and focusing on my business more because my wife got pregnant with our second born. And by this time, it's like, okay, at this time, I was gonna buy a truck, and me, her, and my baby just live in the truck and stack the bread. But we'll catch up on that and take the next questions out of this.
I mean, that actually led me into the next thing, right? So you started trucking, and then now you're doing crystals and DIY products that pretty much are things that, kind of household necessities, right? So what got you guys into doing that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Basically, I saw a crystal necklace that I wanted online. And I was talking to the mom. This was when we first moved back with our parents from Charleston. So I'm a stay-at-home dad with my, he was about 3-4 months old at the time, my 3-month-old son. So I wanted more than just one. Like, she used to make them for me when she get time, after she get off from work or whatever. I'm sitting at home with the material. I had to went and bought some crystals, and I had the material. We probably had like 7 stones, just a handful of stones. That's all we had, and a little bit of copper. And I ended up making them. I had days where I just make back to back to back around in my downtime with me and my son. And I posted them online. I was just posting them on Facebook, and people would hit me up in the inbox, yo, how much? 15. That was just booming. It was gone. So I'm like, okay, well, this is something. So I started buying more, increasing the volume of what I was buying. I started posting in different groups on Facebook and whatnot. And I ended up in a position where I was making like 100 a day, from the house, just chilling. Like, but yeah, that was the gateway to it. And then we just started adding more products, from sage to incense, shea butter,
That's dope. So was the trucking part of your initial introduction to traveling, or were you traveling before that?
I was traveling before that. We lived in Columbia, South Carolina. When I got my first real job, which was probably about like 21, 22. My first job I took serious was Amazon. So Columbia from where we live is like 1 hour and 40 minutes. So coming back home to see our folks every holiday, it's like we just traveled from Columbia to Bennettsville, our hometown, back and forth. And it took us kind of back to, like, how it be when you're in college, you're going back and forth home or whatever. It took us back to that vibe. But I've been traveling South Carolina since then. Trucking got me into traveling the country, as we was running the Southeast region. So I would run down to Florida and all the way up as far as highest I've been on. I didn't go exactly to Maine, but I've been up to Cincinnati. What's on top of New York? It's 2 joints that's on top of New York, right?
Connecticut, then Massachusetts, and Rhode Island.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So I've been up as far as Massachusetts, and then I've been down to Florida, and then a little bit Midwest.
Okay. What's been the most interesting trip
trucking popped it off.
On the truck?
Trucking did. The truck. I used to like to go to Ohio. Ohio was cool, but I love Miami. Miami was probably the most interesting because I went down there. It was my first time in Miami on a truck. That's what introduced me to Miami. I didn't get to, turn up or nothing, but when I got down there, it's like, damn, bro. I got out of the truck. I had on my regular clothes. It's like Christmas time. It's probably like December. And I jump out with some jeans and, long sleeve shirt on. I had to jump back in, put my basketball shorts on. And it's at nighttime. It's like 75 degrees at night, bro. So I just walked the Ross, you know what I'm saying? I caught the vibe, the energy of the environment. And just trucking helped me see that, like, every place has, like, this energy that you give something to it and you take something from it once you leave that place. So I feel like traveling is like the art of our existence. Like we were meant to be going to these places, tapping into these frequencies.
That's dope. That's dope. So what keeps pushing you to travel? Because I mean, one, I know it's work, but I know it has to be more than work, right? There's something about getting on that road and
Sure.
experiencing something new, meeting new people. So like what is it for you that keeps you moving?
For sure. Like you said, man, your last trip, you always like, okay, we're gonna do this next. And every time you on the way leaving out about to go somewhere, you like a kid again. You excited, you know what I'm saying? You hype, and you got this energy and all this turmoil from day to day, your routine life. You can go drop that shit off. You know, you leave it at your destination and you pick up what's new from there. If you're really soaking in and absorbing, the environment, it's like, man, it's really transformative in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Because you tap into the culture, you do what they do, you eat, how the locals eat, and it becomes like a whole new, it's like a new level that you tap into of your existence. You know,
Yeah, I love the way you kind of so like for the most part, most of my guests have been like their stories are international, but from your perspective, it's almost the same thing traveling domestic, right? Like
I believe it is.
we sometimes take for granted some of the little things that we have here at home and kind of like take the biggest leap and just be like we're going over to somebody else's country, but in our own backyards, there are a lot of adventures apparently for you to discover. So
Yeah.
with that being said, as a black man moving around in America, I know things ain't always been amazing, right? So
No,
like,
sir.
so not only just as a trucker, as a businessman, as a father, as a son, as a brother, like, you know, has it been as bad as they make it out to be, being a black man in America moving around as you did?
It's not for me personally because I feel like it's all about how you carry yourself, how you present yourself, and knowing yourself. I feel like you'll get you'll get taken away or harmed in your hometown before you would foreign area. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, bro, like I got a very strong faith in the ancestors, and I feel that they walk with me. I'm surrounded by them, and I also keep in mind that I gotta make it home. So I'm always strategizing. As soon as I enter a room, I got an escape plan to get out of that room. I'm sizing everybody up, everything up. I'm feeling the energy. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as I feel something off, I'm dipping. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm adapting. I gotta adjust and adapt to whatever energy is there and what's going on. And as a trucker, it was like, bro, if you in a certain area, you know not to park here. Don't park in certain places to stay there. Stay in a well-lit area. Just like if you get pulled over by law enforcement. If I were to get pulled over, we live in the country. So if I'm pulled over in the country, bro, I'm going to Walmart somewhere. Like I'm about to pull up under some light where there's people around that can see what's going on and everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like logic and instinct. And if you're afraid, you can't really think things through. So that's where spirituality and breathing exercises, grounding, and some certain crystals. I keep tumbling on me for protection, but certain crystals and certain knowledge just helps you maneuver this thing because it's all energies. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. So now, I'm gonna ask another question around that same is like, is there a stay safe guide amongst minority truckers, or is it like a close knit community where you guys are like constantly keeping each other up to date? Hey, by the way, I was just in Charleston, right outside of Charleston, and causing some trouble out there. So, like, do you guys communicate to the point where you guys provide each other with safe passage locations?
Have that going on. The tribe, you got your people that you can find out what's going on based where they at. If you riding with a CB radio, you can find out what's going on up the road or behind you through the CB radio. But for the most part, man, as a melanated being, you just got to be sharp because like I said, knowing yourself, you know that you're valuable, bro. Like melanin is worth more than gold out here. You know what I'm saying? So you talk about human trafficking and all these things that's going on in the world. it's because of the richness of the Black man. And I mean, I feel like knowing ourselves, it allows us to move different. Like if you know you're a God, you coming through like you're a God. But at the same time, if you as precious as diamonds, you don't shine your light on everybody. Everybody don't deserve you. So it's like a lot of instances, you don't talk to no strangers. You're gonna have people trying to sell you shit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have people all type of stuff. You feel me? But the best thing you could do is like only deal with those who you see reflections of yourself in. The more foreign somebody looks to you, the more distance you want to keep from them. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't relate to them, you don't know nothing about their world. They might be trying to bring you to their world and tap into yours real quick.
So is it the same as a traveling salesman as well?
Definitely, definitely. As a traveling salesman, I feel like you can study models. You know what I'm saying? You can study models from what's been done, and a lot of these success stories of independent cats who took a very unique route and went crazy, like David Banner or whoever. You know, it's all kind of stories out here now. Joshua Chris, um, and figure out like what can work for you and what you do, and then you implement that into your travels. Like for example, if um, we going to Cali, I'm trying to do a festival. I'm trying to hit the top spiritual shops in Cali to whether I'm going just to scope the scene or build wholesale relationships or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because if I scope the scene and I see something that I offer that's not being offered, then I know I got an opportunity for a presence there. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it allows you to, expand what you're already doing, broaden your horizon on your capabilities and what you feel strongly about you can do.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna move on. And I appreciate you sharing all that. And so I want to go on to my next topic, which is, you know, which is the kind of times we're living in right now, right? Um, as a father, son, brother, sister, brother,
Yeah,
husband, um, and human, all around human, melanated human, right? Um, we're all in this pandemic together, right? Where
for
were
sure, for sure.
you when things popped off? When things started to lock down?
Let me tell you about this one, bro. So I booked I booked the biggest gym show in the world. It fell on my birthday, February 13th. But it's a 3 week long gym show in Arizona, and it's the biggest one in the world. You got vendors coming in from Africa, Brazil, Afghan, you name it. They coming from everywhere. They got mines or they got access to mines, and they bring these crystals straight from the ground. So I go out to the desert, to Arizona for this event, and we out there, man. And I was at a turning point of my life where I was trying to figure out if I'm about to buy a truck and drive, or I'm about to focus on my company. You know what I'm saying? Because when I stopped driving trucks to pursue my business full time, and I walked away from that to pursue my business full time, which my business at the time, we was doing probably a couple hundred a week. You know what I'm saying? Some days I have events, festivals on the weekend. I might go to Miami and do a festival and do a 2G weekend or whatever, something like that through the business. But it wasn't like consistent enough to say, okay, we could live off this. You know what I'm saying? But soon as I got back from Arizona, bro, that I went to Arizona in February. We got back like the end of February. So while I'm out there, I'm expecting to see cacti and desert. They got waterfalls and it's beautiful. It's fucking amazing out there. So as soon as we get back, probably about 3 weeks later, that's when we hear talk of the world shutting down, all this crazy shit. COVID hit, slam, COVID hit. COVID happened to be the best thing for a lot of Black businesses because I had like 7 or 8 different shows booked. I booked festivals. I had a Cali festival book. It's called the Vegan Street Fair. We're gonna be there next March, but it was supposed to be this March, 2020. They canceled that joint like 2 weeks before. Broke our hearts. I had a New York joint, Black Veg Fest, New York. Canceled that joint. Anyway, long story short, once COVID hit, it changed everything from we got to be here. Hey, come find us here. It was like we was on tour, and people would pull up to see us. There would be people that come to Atlanta from Colombia, or people that come here from there just to see me. You know what I'm saying? And shot with us. So COVID turned us into a more dropship business. Now everything been online. Online sales skyrocketed. Like we probably quadruple numbers from last year. Because last year we had an online presence, but we weren't as focused on, okay, we got to have content today. We need to post something new. We need to, you know what I mean? Become more innovative in how we approaching this online market. But yeah, that's been really the big blessing in disguise about the whole virus situation, because a lot of people have been shopping online, and it's inspired a lot of us entrepreneurs to become more creative in our outreach using these platforms, social media, and the podcast and everything like that.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I mean, out of tragedy, there's always success stories, right? The yin and the yang of the way we live our lives, right?
Right.
And it sounds like you guys really were blessed, because you go from not knowing whether or not doing this full time is going to kind of feed your family, to realizing, the gift and the curse, right? Like,
Yeah.
the curse is the people around you possibly suffering, but those people suffering need what you provide them to
Yes.
maintain that level of sanity, to bring peace into their lives. You know what I
Oh, I'm
mean?
talking about this side. I'm talking about like you got people at the spot now. When they had the curfews, like people at the house, they weren't trying to leave the house. So you had so many people home now researching, learning about chakras, learning about elderberry and all these natural remedies and whatnot, because we're in the age of information. So it's like if a person don't want to know about spirituality and natural healing, they just ignoring the fact that it exists because it's right in front of you on this phone.
Right, right. And that's dope, because
Yeah,
I
but it's
mean,
definitely
for me, I just started this podcast off of, you know what, I want to do something with my time. I can't just sit still and not do anything. Plus,
respect.
I'm traveling, listening to your story. Yo, I feel like I'm in the truck with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like we going to Miami.
respect.
You know what I mean? Back in my day, we was going to Miami
Bro,
almost every summer. You know what I mean? Just living
bro,
life. But
yeah,
now we kind of stuck at home, right? And
right,
one of the things about starting this podcast, I'm realizing we're all in the same boat, right?
for sure,
You
for
know,
sure.
I'm realizing that people are telling me like, yo, like talking about these trips bring nostalgia. I paid, like, remember how we started the show? I'll just give a little bit to myself, right? A little
Yeah.
anxious, a little nervous. But you're right. It's the energy that we bring. And I realized that this show shows that energy circumvents the physical, right? Being
Mhm.
able to kind of interact with each other and still have a vibe, and not actually having to be in person. But not everybody can do that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So
Yeah, yeah.
so I definitely appreciate, being able to be in a space where I can give people a dope vibe to talk about their experiences. So, I was a little nervous at the beginning. I'm always nervous. A
Respect.
lot of people don't realize this, but I try to hold it down. I try to hold it down.
Respect,
Um,
bro. Respect.
so so with business booming, right, and then outside slowly opening up, show closing back up, how are you adjusting to the new normal?
Man, really just living in the moment, bro. Like this virus has taught us one of the most valuable lessons. You don't know. You don't need to be worrying about how the bills gonna get paid or the schedule for tomorrow. Like now we be on some shit like, all right, fuck it, let's go to the mountains next week, or to tomorrow or Friday, because the virus, the pandemic or whatever, like it's forced us to stop worrying about the future so much. We thankful for right now because you don't even know how it's gonna be tomorrow or next week. Is it gonna shut down? Is it gonna whoop de whoop? Ain't no point of worrying about it because you can't control it. But our biggest, I feel like my biggest adjustment has been family first, bro. Like I'm grateful that I've been waiting because I kind of felt something telling me like, bro, don't buy no truck yet, don't do nothing yet, just chill. So I chilled long enough to see that, okay, I need to be here with my kids, helping teach them and putting them first. And now I actually work my business around them. You know what I'm saying? So when they get up, we get up, make sure they straight. Then I get the business or whatever, whatever. And once I'm done with whatever I got to ship out today, whatever business got to be handled, it's right back to them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this how life feels right finally. It don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, I gotta leave, go somewhere that I don't want to be. And it's helped me in my relationship with the universe, because it's like, instead of me looking forward to this salary of making this much a week, or worrying about where this person gonna send me on the next load, if they're gonna send me somewhere cold that I don't want to be, or if they're gonna send me back to Florida. Now it's more so like, okay, I have the ability to just control more. And I'm grateful, because it's like, I don't have to be nowhere, or I don't have to do nothing that I don't enjoy doing. Like, I love what I do. You feel me? So being able to focus on that, man, has been like life changing. I'm more happy. I'm more interested in each moment. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. So does that mean like the way you move around is different, right? Because I mean, some states are
Yeah,
open, some
yeah.
states are closed, some states got high numbers. Once again, the goal is always to come back home to family. So like, what is your new regiment when you're getting ready to leave the house or even travel, right? What's the
Okay,
new
okay.
regiment to you? So let's take this a couple steps back. Um, as far as traveling out the country, have you done a lot of like out of the country traveling?
I haven't. I haven't even been out of the country yet. My first time I
Man,
was
we need
on
to
a
make this
plane was
happen, bro.
like, we do, bro. I'm with it. I'm with it. Hey, bro, listen, like, I'm so, like, I'm like an old soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 30, but like, my goal for next year, I'm trying to pay my crib off. You know, I'm trying to pay my house off, and we just got it like 3 years ago. You know, it'll be 3 years next year. But anyway, long story short, that was a goal I set for myself when we first got it. So like, everything else is like after that, because this for them. You know, the house is for the kids, and that's what I be having. Like, I be so intentional now in everything I do. I'm like, okay, whatever need to be done for them, I'm gonna do that first. Then all my stuff, I do it later.
Okay, okay. So we'll go back to what I was saying before. So when you're getting ready to leave to do your trips, like, do you have a checklist? Like, let's say,
Yeah.
I'm trying to move around. I'm trying to go on a road trip to North Carolina. What are the top five things that you kind of gotta check and make sure is copacetic before you make that move?
All right. Of course, we checking the weather first off. I check the weather like before I leave out the house anytime, because I done seen like days where we wake up and it's like 60 degrees, and then that joint drop to like 45 by 12 p.m., which you expected to get warmer through the day, where they got cooler on it. So I check the weather anytime I get ready to leave out the crib. I need my elderberry syrup. I need that. That's for immunity. You know, they keep the immune system strong, and it kills mucus and all that stuff you don't want in you. My black seed oil the same way. Black seed oil, elderberry syrup, and sea moss gel. We pretty much take those every day. I gotta have those on deck. We've been doing a lot of tea, so I take the tea with me. Man, traveling far though, when we going on a trip, those my everything. Like I have a bag that I make sure the toothpaste and that toothbrush in there, clothes in there, extra pair of clothes. We gotta double check and make sure we got extra for the kids, because somebody might wet themselves in the car, you know, because kids like to hold their pee to the last minute. So extra pair of clothes for the kids, snacks for them, hippies and whatever they like. Um, we always we like to book, like we don't wait till the last minute. We rarely, if we got the kids, we booking already. Wherever we going, the spot is booked, everything already arranged. But if it's just me and the guy that's on a venture, we might book once we get there, you know, do a little roaming around and see where we want to be at. Because a lot of times when you doing when I'm doing festivals, let's say I'm doing Atlanta. One time we did Atlanta, then we went from Atlanta to Miami. So if I'm doing something like that, Atlanta to Miami, we might not even stay the night after the festival. We might say, hey, we about to go ahead and hit the road and just get a room somewhere halfway in between or wherever we feel sleepy at in between Atlanta and Miami. But yeah, bro, that's my main thing. Extra socks, extra underwear, um, tea tree oil, you know what I'm saying? Infectant spray. She makes her own infectant spray. We make our own hand sanitizer. So when we go to the tellies or the Airbnbs, we sanitizing things all the way down. I keep my black tourmaline, my labradorite, my protection crystals. Those are things I gotta have. I keep something that I can physically do some harm with, you know, whether it's a blade or something bigger, you know what I mean? But and meditation. We
Hey, you gotta stay ready at all times, man.
you know that
You know what I mean?
we in a spiritual war, man.
Yeah, man. So, do you have a bucket list of places you would like domestically or internationally, right?
For
Like,
sure,
I know
for
one of my
sure.
bucket lists is I want to go to Australia just because it's on the other side of the world. So, like,
With that,
what's your like top 5 places that you'd love to visit, home or abroad?
I bet. So I gotta go to Ethiopia. I gotta go to Ethiopia. Um, I have to go to. Well, I can just say Africa because I'm trying to go to Africa and go crazy. Like I need to see all the sights. Um, I gotta go to Tulum. I gotta go to Tulum. That's number 2. Um, I gotta go to. Wow, it's a vegan strip club in Oregon. I think it's in Portland.
Okay.
Yeah, they say they got fire food and just to see what's going on, like get
Right.
inspired. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'll go with
Um,
you, bro. Just let me
say
know when.
less. Bet I got you. We in there. So that's 3. 4. I gotta see like Ireland. My mom said we got some roots near Ireland, some Irish up in our blood somewhere. And the 5th one would have to be Jamaica. I want to see.
Nice.
I want to see Jamaica.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna be going
Yeah,
to
thanks.
Jamaica in 21. It'll be my 3rd trip to Jamaica. Man, it's a beautiful country, bro.
Nice. Word.
Ireland is definitely on my trip list. Got to go see Nessie. Um, and then Africa, bro. Like I think I'm not sure yet. So I go with a lot of travel groups, and one of the guys is trying to set up a recon mission. So pretty much they do reconnaissance, go on different trips to kind of see whether or
Okay.
not it would be a group trip type of thing. So I told my man, I'm like, look, hit me up when we doing recon. So we might be doing Joburg in either February or March. Actually, February. So
Wow.
I'm looking forward to that. But once again, it's one of those situations where Africa is dope. I mean, I've been to a couple countries already. Looking to expand that. So you got a dope list right there, brother.
Give
Like I said,
thanks. Give
um,
thanks.
we are exploring the United States as much as we can right now. And that's just
Right.
because it's like, things are locked down, but what you do have control over is your ability to drive. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
Now,
Yeah.
speaking of drive, we talked about this RV trip, bro.
Yo.
Listen, I've been looking at some RVs, and I mean, they pretty much at a cost for a week. It's the cost of staying at a hotel and a flight to drive from coast to coast. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm definitely looking at maybe an RV type of setup in the future.
Bro, we was talking about going to um Arizona for the gym show anyway, like
Okay.
February.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got an event, the Vegan Street Fair in Cali in March. So I mean, if we
Where
could,
in
if you
Cali is
wanted
it?
to, we could make it. That's in LA. It's in Hollywood.
I've never been to LA, so that's a perfect invitation right there.
Okay. Bet. Yo, when you just send me the link, you know what I'm saying? We'll look through it and figure out something.
I bet. So tell us what you got going on. Tell people where they can find you. You know what I mean?
For sure. You can check us out on Etsy. It's King's Treasure LLC. on Etsy. The Instagram is King's Treasure Customs. You can find Yoni Steams. We got CMOS. We got CMOS gel. I sell in bulk, wholesale and retail. I got plenty of crystals from amethyst to apatholite to, crystals that you never probably even heard of or seen before. I can pretty much make jewelry out of any crystal that you see there. I post all the new joints. Whatever's new, I always post it on the Instagram. So that's the best way to keep up. King's Treasure Customs on Instagram, King's Treasure LLC on Facebook and Etsy. And yeah, man, elderberry syrup. And if it's anything that, you want custom made, DM me. If it's something that you got a request for that you don't see on there, let me know. We probably got access to it, point you in the right direction.
And just so y'all know, what I'm saying? He hooked me up with a little couple pieces right here real quick. Tell him what you're feeling. Tell him how you feeling. Tell him what you're going through. And he'll definitely make some adjustments and kind of set up some custom joints for you. He got me some custom joints. He got my dad some custom joints. He got my sister some custom joints. So we definitely appreciate you, brother. Once again, this has been a long time overdue, and definitely appreciate you supporting this. We're kindred spirits to an extent. You know what I mean?
I said for sure.
And so
it's an honor.
And bro, it's my pleasure, bro, because I really want to make sure that I'm diverse in the group of travelers that we get, right? It can't always be the glitz and glamour travel. It has to be sometimes the nitty gritty, the coast to coast type of travelers. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Appreciate you sharing your stories of traveling as a trucker, being able to go from Whole Foods to trucking to now being an entrepreneur, bro. I mean, and that's amazing. You know what I mean? So
yeah, bro, give thanks.
I just want to say, keep doing what you're doing, brother. And you know what? I'm looking forward to more bling. I don't really wear jewelry like that, but I have to take these things off. So,
respect, bro. Respect, and also, man, to everybody listening, bro. If you want to charge it, keep your crystals charged and cleansed. The same thing that's in our bodies is also in these crystals. All that quartz and that crystalline. Put your crystals outside on the grass or the dirt, anywhere that has soil beneath it. Let them sit out there for a couple of hours, man. They be charged up, renewed, and you put them back on, you're going to feel uplifted. You know what I mean?
We got snow outside. Can I put them on snow?
Put them on snow, bro.
Oh, I'm about to charge these bad boys up. All right, my brother, man. I appreciate you for doing the show. Definitely, we will be watching the growth of your business to see how you and your family do these things, and hopefully, take a lesson or two from your book. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's an honor, bro. It's an honor. Anything I can help with, just let me know.